Hello and welcome back. So we're here in Unity 5 and I'm using this file here, begin13.unity, which you can find inside of our assets and then custom folder and scenes. So begin13 will be in there. It's actually an empty scene with just a camera in it, but we're going to start adding some stuff to it now. So what we need to do is to bring our Spriter files that we've been using and adding to so far and get that into Unity and convert it to Unity compatible. So to do that, there is a package that you can add to Unity. It's a community made package by people who are using Spriter. You can find it here on GitHub. It's called Spriter 2 Unity. So Spriter number 2 Unity. You can find this from the Spriter forums as well. But one caveat, in Unity 5, people have been getting some errors and incompatibility issues. So suggestions have been made by other members of the community, not the person who created this, as to how to fix them and update it to solve those version conflicts that people have been getting. And you can go and find the individual lines of code and edit them yourselves and copy them in, but I've already done that. So I've created a new package from this. Just if for some reason you have to come back to this point and download this yourself and import it, know that the solutions do exist, but they are supplied with this project here. So if you're using Unity 5, I think it's 5.1, or what do we have here? If we go to About Unity, 5.1.2 F1, this version that I'm about to use now works. So it's always an issue when you're using third-party tools, and Unity is really built for using the community's tools. So it's an occupational hazard, I guess, but proceed with caution anyway. So if we go to assets and to bring in that particular package where I've made those changes, you can go import package, custom package, and it's here in our character 2D prototype, non-Unity, and right next to the Spriter project where we've been working all along in Spriter, using our graphics and saving our SCML files. We have Spriter to Unity 5.unity package. So that's the one where I've edited a couple of lines in the scripts that come with this. And if you just open that, you get your importing package dialog pops up, and you can add all these files as new. None of them are in the project already, so you can just go import. Okay, so now that's been added, and it's these two folders down here, third party and Unity VS. So we can, we're getting one or two little log messages down here. But if we go to our console, we'll see that there are a couple of warnings, but none of them are show-stopping red errors. So just clear that. And the way it's recommended that you work with this plugin is that you already have your Spriter content imported into this project already. The reason I'm doing it in reverse is because it seems to work anyway if you import the converter first. But in case it doesn't, if you're going to use the files that I'm supplying with this course yourselves, you will find in this assets folder, you will already find these third-party and Unity VS folders here already. So if for some reason you're not getting prefabs generated, what you can do is select both of these folders, right-click on them, and say re-import after you've brought in all of your Spriter content. Okay, so that's if you're not getting a prefab and an animator file, which is what we're looking for here. So I'm going to do that next. So what I'm going to do is go into my custom folder. I in Unity like to make a like one folder all in caps, kind of early on in the alphabet as well. That where we can easily find all of our own work, especially if you're using a lot of third party stuff. So other people are going to bring in their own folders and they're going to scatter all over the project. And if you're trying to keep everything neat and organized, just alphabetized folders are going to interrupt your file structure. So just better to keep all of your own stuff together. So a single custom folder, and in here I'm going to create a new folder called Spriter. And we will be bringing in other graphics and making other things in another lesson, but all the Spriter stuff that we've been using, I'm going to keep it pretty much as it is and just kind of going to copy and paste it in here. So I'm going to go into Explorer and go to my non-Unity folder, into my Spriter project, and we need all of these folders with all of our sprites in them, except for Z reference, because we stripped all that out of our animations in the last lesson. So I'm going to take as well any SCML files that it finds. It will look for entities and animations and try and convert them for you. So best to only use one of these if you've been saving versions all along. Otherwise, you're going to get lots of different zappers, lots of different animations, and they'll probably overwrite each other and we'll have conflict. So I'm just going to bring the latest one. So begin 13. And I'm going to copy these and then go back to my assets folder, into custom. So the assets folder is pretty much from this point on, it's a mirror image of what you're seeing in Unity. And go into my Spriter folder and paste. And if we get back to Unity, we can see here now that if we double click in this Spriter folder and scroll down, we can see all of our sprites will be in here. So we can see our individual graphics appearing like so. But if we scroll this down, we have our begin 13 SCML file, but we also have a Zapper prefab and a Zapper animator. So we'll talk about the animator later, but let's just bring the prefab out and have a look at it. So I'm going to just drag this prefab up here into my hierarchy, and it appears on the stage. And I'm going to take my camera here and just for the moment set my move tool there and pull this camera in. It's an orthographic camera. So we can see our character there, and this is the game view. So this should look like this in the in the actual game itself. And even though this is a smaller version of the screen, if we just play this, you can see at maximum value it's a little blurry. It's a bit blurrier than we want it to be. So what I'm going to do is, well, I suppose that camera is zoomed in a bit, but even so, it's very, very blurry here. So what we want to do is turn off MIP mapping. It may already be off. It's kind of it's going to be an editor setting. It'll be kind of a default import setting for your sprites. But in the case of this, I'm for some reason MIP mapping as though these are all 3D textures. So what I'm going to do is turn on my filter by type here and filter all of my sprites. Actually, no, filter all my textures. So the original files there, all the ones that are called Zapper, and I'm going to select the whole lot of them all together there, and in the inspector over here, I'm just going to turn off generate mip maps so that they won't blur out with distance, and hit apply. And they immediately become clearer. So in the next lesson, we're going to start talking about animation. Okay, so see you in the next lesson.